good people? Hey, everybody. Hello, everybody. What's up, good people? How are you? How are you? What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going to get it in, you guys. We're going to get it in today. I'm just setting up my Instagram. Yeah, I'm going to set up my Instagram. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Set up my Instagram page and we're going to chat it up today, you guys. Happy Wednesday, you guys. I hope that that your week has been going well. And if it hasn't, you actually have the opportunity to switch that up. What's up, Instagram? What's up, Instagram? Welcome to Womb Wellness Wednesday. And today's topic is freedom and pain. There's freedom / pain in your tears. And let me go ahead and wait a minute. Let me go ahead and do this now. So I want to, hey, what's up, my friend? How are you? Good to see you. I'm just trying to set up my live. So welcome everybody. I am your girl, Ms.Unorthodoc, on all social media platforms. What I basically help women do is win within. Help them go back to where they were first in their life, put them back on the pedestal so that they can give from their authentic selves. I'm going to talk a little bit about vulnerability today. I'm also going to talk about what condition your heart is in and pretty much why you have the results that you have that's in your life right now. And a lot of it has to do with what that blood flow, energy flow currently is in your heart. And we fail to realize that let me say this first. First of all, thank you guys. Thank you to all my DMV queens who've actually came and got your Reiki healing services by me. Thank you for supporting me as far as themes. And I like I said, there could be no me without you. So I really appreciate all those who've actually patronized my service and my business. But just having my clients that I've had over the past week, it has really allowed me to really sit still and just consciously be in the present moment of why everybody tries so hard to not be vulnerable. Why do we fight so hard to not be soft, to not be open and available? And in my meditation, most of the time in my meditation, I am focused on certain things, but sometimes I just go in to find answers, especially for my womb queens that I work with on a regular basis, because within the last 2 years, you guys, I've actually worked with several different women where it was I'm gonna say brutal struggle for them to be vulnerable. It was a brutal struggle for them to cry out for themselves. And I say, when we were born in our mother's womb, I want you to, and I'm just going to show you some of the hearts the condition of some of the hearts that I get to work with. And we have to realize with each challenge, with each disappointment, with each growth spurt, with each reward, with each recognition, with each praise, with each appreciation comes surgery to the heart. And so a lot of times we really don't get to bask in the yumminess of being vulnerable, being, authentically true, not only to yourself, but those around you. And it's due to being guarded. It's due to, you going back, because a lot of times when you've experienced some type of heart pain or heartache or heart broke, we get in this mindset where we create a law or vow or belief to ourselves to say, you know what? Nobody's going to ever be able to do this to my heart again. And so right then, when you say that, you create a law to yourself and you work your ass off on a regular basis to keep that belief and that law true. Even when Spirit allows people to come into your life who you can trust, who is really there for you, who really don't want anything from you, who is really there to show you unconditional love, who have accepted you for all your insecurities or your downfalls or whatever the case may be. And so because you so guarded, you can't even receive that person. And so I'm going to turn both of these cameras around so you guys can see, because I want to talk about just the condition. You got to ask yourself, what relationship I have with my heart? What relationship do I have with vulnerability? And so I'm gonna talk a little bit deeper into why we choose to fully escape from the emotion of being vulnerable, and why for some of us it's a cuss word, or some of us it's pain, and so we stay far away from it. And so I'm going to turn this camera around just so that you guys can see. Okay, so I truly believe that this is how your heart starts out. You see that heart with the wings? I truly believe when you are born, that's how pure your heart is. It's beating with love, peace, joy, happiness, because at the end of the day, when you're an infant, you don't know no better. But then, because life takes place, and because sometimes we grow up in a dysfunctional environment, sometimes your parents could be the first person who breaks your heart. For little girls, sometimes it's your dad. For not being consistent, for not praising you, for not loving you, for not showing you what a real man looks like. Sometimes for men, it's your mother. And when your mother breaks your heart and there's no type of counseling for you to actually process the pain and give that pain a voice, every woman you come in contact with, short or long term, she pays for it. And so you're going to find that you manipulate women, or you're trying to pay back your mother by way of hurting the woman that you're with. A prime example of that is R. Kelly. That's why he has the behavior he has. He has no real pure relationship when it comes to a mother's love. And so just knowing some background history of that relationship, it consists of abuse. It consists of drug abuse. And so at a very early age, he was violated by a woman and then wasn't protected. So his heart was probably broken at 6-year-old. So some of us, our hearts look like that. Or you're walking around with some Band-Aids on your heart. Your heart is broken in pieces. And a lot of us, so let me turn this back around. And so a lot of us, we grow up with a broken or bandage or callous heart, and we never get the opportunity to allow somebody to chisel that cement that's around our heart away. What's up, Terrence? How are you? So I wanted to talk about your relationship with connection. Whatever, if anything, I bring joy to your heart. That's why you're always in my life. And so we are in a position, you guys, that we see a lot of the stuff that's going on in our world today. It's due to a heart condition. It's due to a heart condition. And so I wanted to let my Womb Wellness Wednesday be about what is the condition of your heart. What is your relationship with vulnerability? Do you have one? Are you guys in a love-hate relationship? Or is it that vulnerability has showed you a distorted view of itself? Because a lot of people have a distorted view of what vulnerability is. We think it's being weak. We think it's being soft. Some of us has been teased because of being vulnerable. Some of us have been taken advantage of physically, emotionally, spiritually with being vulnerable. Some of us are in a position where we don't connect to people, or when it's time for us to get in a relationship or to build a relationship with someone, we put them through all these different changes in our brokenness for them to prove that they are who they say they are, and that they are in a position where they're really there to love you no matter what. And so sometimes in relationships with men and women, that a man or has to jump through all these different hoops or walk on these eggshells because she's been broken so many times. He has to pretty much take her heart and start to stitch it up, cleanse out all the filth, cleanse out all the lies, the toxic belief system, the church hurt, the brokenness from the last man, the disappointment she's had with her parents, the disappointment she had with her girlfriends, the betrayal. And he has to become a heart surgeon. And that could be a lot for a man. Sometimes a whole bunch of drama is stem from her heart being guarded, and vice versa. You go in to love a man, but you guys already know I always say you attract to you what you are. So if that's what's showing up, do understand that's the condition of your heart. And so I wanted to briefly talk about what is your relationship with connection. Do you connect with people well? Or do you put them through some type of scavenger hunt in order to be connected to you? And if you do, why? Loving you, loving yourself. Are you halfway in? Are you all the way out? Or are you fully engaged with loving yourself? Loving yourself does consist of being vulnerable. Loving yourself does consist of just having a good ass, yummy, toxic free cry, ugly cry. Just because. Not that there's anything attached to it, not that you're looking to gain something from it, but it's because this is the waste that you need to get out. The emotional waste that you need to release comes in an ugly cry. And when I get to work with, when I do my Reiki sessions, and every time, I'm telling you, where I start off is the crown, but as soon as I get anywhere around the heart, the stomach quivers, the chin quivers, and I can feel the pain coming up. And I celebrate them, and I create a safe place for them to be in the moment, for them to allow themselves to purge right in that. It could be screaming, it could be screaming, it could be throwing up, it could be foaming at the mouth, it could be any of those things, but it's in there and it must come up. So you got to ask yourself, what is my connection? What is my relationship to vulnerability? Because I'm going to tell you, in the years of me working with women and young girls in the last, I'm going to say 15 plus years of my life, what I understand is that it's no way that you can really impact somebody else's life unless you understand what it's like to be vulnerable and be taken advantage of. But be willing to go with your client into that arena so that they can get their breakthrough. And so a lot of times we fight as human beings to not be vulnerable. Women, we fight, kick, scream to not be a gentle, soft rose that God created us. Why? Because there's a level of protection that we walk around with. And it's an unhealthy level of love. I get it all the time. I get it. You're so hard. You're so this. And I'm like, actually, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just very confident in who I was created to be. I know what it's like to be in a fetus position and feel like the world is against you or there's nobody there to support you. See, I've been on those different levels. But see, my journey of healing for myself started in the early 1988, 1999. And so I'm not even surprised of where I'm at now. Because I did the work early on. And I could tell you what that looks like. I could tell you what that feels like. And so that's why I'm able to create a safe haven for women to bear all. The shame, the pain, the feeling of not having nobody around or nobody being there for them. And I say this because a lot of times we are walking around right now needing heart surgery, needing open heart surgery. But we take a Band-Aid and we put that Band-Aid where surgery needs to take place. And no sooner somebody come and they do something to hurt you, it could be a coworker at your job. It could be a total complete stranger, somebody who took your parking space, which turns into a big blow up thing. Why? Because once again, somebody is taking advantage of me and I feel vulnerable and I don't like to feel vulnerable. So I'm going to react. And in me reacting, I'm not going to get a healthy result. And it's going to not only thing it's going to do is add another layer of cement around my protected, guarded heart. And so you never get to feel, you never get to love from a pure standpoint. You never get to the place where you allow somebody to love you just because. And so once you fully understand that vulnerability is your power, you'll practice it on a regular basis. Once you understand that vulnerability creates such a yummy energy for other people, they want to do any and everything for you just because. Once you understand that there's powers in your tears, there's powers in breaking down, there's power in having an ugly cry, there's power of saying, I don't know. There's power in relinquishing control, which we have no control. That's the thing, you guys. We psych ourselves in believing that we have so much control. And the more control you think you have, the more out of control you are. We have no control over nothing. The only thing that you have control of is the moment. Is this moment right now. That's it. And so because of a lot of the ways that we've grown up or our interaction with having a broken heart, who walked you through your broken heart? When you had your first broken heart, did you go talk to somebody or did you try to process it by yourself? Was there somebody there to let you lay your face on their heart or their shoulder to cry? Was there a girlfriend there that said, you know what, I got you, get it all out? Did you get that? For my brothers. And that's why a lot of times men have unexpected heart attacks. Because a lot of them do not have a place where they can go and be vulnerable. They don't have it. Because of course they've grown up with the fake ass lie that a man is weak if he cries. Which allows him to continue to store that pain in his heart. Oh, I got it. I'm good. You ain't good. You ain't good. And so the more I work with women and the more I get to experience their breakthroughs with whatever level it's on, it really amazes me of the different color of tears that come. It amazes me. And sometimes the pain is so deeply rooted that it stains the woman's face. The white part of her eyes is stark and red as these walls, because that's how deeply rooted it was. And she was never given a safe haven, or she never trusts someone enough to really cry it out or get it out. What is your relationship with vulnerability? Do you have one? Or have you worked all your life not to be that? What was your first experience with vulnerability? What did it consist of? What was the outcome? And who won? Who got the victory when you were vulnerable? Somebody got it. Somebody won at your expense. Who was it? Ladies, I want you to ask yourself something. When is the last time you had a good cry? When is the last time you had a good cry? And you know what gets me is before I work with my clients doing Reiki, I always ask them that question. When is the last time you had a good ugly cry? And truth be told, they can't even remember. It's always like, let me think about it. And if you have to think about it, I know that you are walking around with a guarded heart, a protected heart. And so a lot of that shows up in fear. A lot of that shows up in you feeling like you're not worthy of nothing but whatever's in your life right now. A lot of that shows up with shame. So you gotta be honest with yourself with what is my vulnerability? Where am I at with vulnerability? Do it make me scared? Does it put me in a position where I feel like I'm gonna be taken advantage of? Gotta ask yourself that. Wow. At the end of the day, you guys, at the end of the day, you have to realize the way that God loves us to show up in such a childlike spirit, which means if you pay attention to little children, I'm going to say children under the age of anywhere from 3 on down, you can tell they don't have a care in the world. You can tell that they have so much confidence in their parents that they're going to be taken care of. They don't have a care in the world. And they speak powerful truth. A lot of parents don't realize that your children are there to teach you a lesson. A lot of you don't realize that that particular child that was birthed to you is to grow certain things in you. And so there's always a challenge. There's always going to be something that they say out their mouth that you're not going to want to deal with, or that you're probably going to chastise them for because you think they're being grown, but if they really speak in truth and you don't want to accept the fact that God is using your child to talk to you. And so until we get back to allowing our heart to be open to receive, God can't get in. He can't get in. And so that energy that you're sending out from your guarded heart, even though you have it guarded from people, but you got yourself locked in. Who do you have your confessors with? Who do you talk to about your most deep, dark secrets? Do you have a go-to person? How often are you vulnerable? Do you know what healthy vulnerability look like? And do you understand that there's a reward when you practice being vulnerable on a regular basis? There's a reward. There's freedom from your pain. Some of us have to understand. Going in your prayer closet, going over your girlfriend's house, wherever you need to go to have an ugly cry, you must understand that that should take place on a regular basis. The more you cry, the more your heart opens up, the more you can receive. The more opportunity Spirit gives you because of your vulnerability. So I challenge you today. Ladies, talking to my brothers too, but ladies, if you do not know when the last time you had a good cry, you got to ask yourself why. Why do you stay from it? Why do you fight against? Why? What ailments are you dealing with right now in your body, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because of the condition of your heart? It's no way that your emotions can be healthy if your heart is hardened. If your heart has been broken and you basically locked it away because you don't want it to be broken again. It's no way that your emotions can be healthy. And so if your emotions not healthy, you're not responding or reacting in a kind or loving way because your perspective is distorted. So you walk around from time to time playing the victim like everybody's out to get you. You don't trust anybody. You feed people or deal with people with a long spoon because you don't trust. Wow. So you got to be honest with you. You only get one life to live. You get one life to live. And so you got to be honest with yourself about what my pain is connected to. Why do I guard my heart? Or why is my heart not available? Why don't I allow myself to love, be loved, or be in love? Why? There's a reason behind it. There's a reason behind it. So you got to get to the point where you love yourself enough to say, you know what? I personally, you got to love yourself enough to say that that's where you are. Or you got to love yourself enough to come to full terms with the condition of your heart. Some of us go to our grave, never experience real love. Because I'm going to tell you right now, love only, and I'm going to tell you, this guy used to say this all the time. One of my spiritual mentors, never knew what he was saying, the reason why he said it and what it really meant. Now I fully understand it. Love only comes looking for itself. Love only comes looking for itself. But if it's not present, it can't stick around. It can't stick around. Some of us struggle with not feeling like you're enough. And so you don't feel worthy. And you let other people treat you any kind of way. and you accept it. Some of you let people take your kindness for weakness. And then you get to the point where it builds up so much that you come out kicking, screaming, fighting. If you don't get anything else from this live, I want you to understand. Your heart is in a certain condition. And you got to be honest with yourself where it's at. If you want to experience love, you have to first have your heart open enough, soft enough, and welcome enough for love to come looking for itself. If it's not in that condition, it's not going to happen. Only the things that your heart is projecting is what's going to come to you. So if it's toxic, do understand that's what's going to be drawn to you. It saddens my heart every time I work with a woman and it's hard for her to cry. Because God made us this way. He made us to be able to just be vulnerable, let the tears flow. And when I see women that damn near choke just to cry, that's painful to me. That's painful to me. Because there's something in your life that happened to you that was so painful that you hardened your heart, that you guarded your heart, that you protect your heart. And as soon as I put my hand on it, it softens, you break. It amazes me. It amazes me. Like I said, some of us need open heart surgery right now. Some of us is having a spiritual and mental, emotional heart attack. And once you fully say yes to you, once you fully take your own life back, once you fully accept that your heart is hardened or broken or mangled or guarded or protected, the sooner you come to grips with that, the sooner the healing process can take place. But I'm going to tell you right now, it starts with being vulnerable. Vulnerability is a power, you guys, not a weakness. Vulnerability is strength. And the more that you practice it, the more the spirit opens and reigns in your life in every area. In every area. So ladies, I'm going to challenge you. At least twice a month. Get you in a good old-fashioned ugly cry. At least twice a month. I would say once a week. But some of you, it's so hard for you. So I'm just going to say twice a month. If you got a good, and a lot of reasons why we don't do it or we don't have that person, because we're so afraid of what how they're going to look at us. We're so afraid of the rejection that's going to come if we be vulnerable. We're so afraid of the outer shit. And the outer shit is what's keeping us so bound up. Other people's opinion, other people's perspective, other people's words. Fuck that. Because they're not important. Not when it comes to your heart. They are not important. You are important. You are worthy. You are loved. You're lovable. Even those who told you weren't, you're lovable. Ladies, you're not walking around hard just to be hard. You got to understand that was, you allowed that to come in. You took that on. So, I challenge you. I challenge you. If you're not getting the results that you need to get, it is time to do something different. Period. Period. But here's the reality of this whole entire lie that I'm doing. Everybody do not want healing. Everybody do not want to face the vulnerability or pain of the past. It's a lot of people that they're good with where they are. And I get that. Sad. It saddens my heart to believe that. But I see it all the time. A lot of people would rather fake the funk. It's sad. Because you're a public success, but a private failure. In your private life, you're a failure. But you act well. You act well. And you don't even get a check for it. So you acting for free. It's sad. But when you going to win for you? When you going to be enough? When you going to understand that you're worthy of everything that God intended for you? When you going to understand that you are kings and queens, there's something very powerful for you to do. When you going to understand that you walk around with greatness in you and the world needs it. When are you going to understand that? When are you going to understand that book or that business or that testimony, somebody is having restless nights because you're choosing not to walk in it? You have that answer, but you choose not to walk in it. When you going to realize that? I'm going to leave you with this. If Spirit didn't have a purpose for you to be here, you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be listening to my live, and I wouldn't be talking directly to you. If you were not called to do something to impact this world, you would not be existing right now. Trust and believe that. But you got to also understand that love is the only thing that can transform you. And I'm not talking about the reality TV love or the picket fist, fake ass, materialistic. I'm not talking about that type of love. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that love that's going to protect you when you need to bear all. I'm talking about that love that's going to protect you when you're at your lowest moment. That's the type of love I'm talking about. So I'm going to challenge you. Find someone that you can trust to get it out, you guys. Love yourself enough to say, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of emotionally, spiritually, and mentally fighting. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting myself. Get into the position where you love yourself enough to say, you know what? It's time for me to win, but I got to win within first. Accept that you're walking around with a stone wall around your heart. Accept the fact that as much as you keep yourself in, you can't get out. You're so guarded and protected. You want something better? You got to do something different. Do understand that love is power. Love is transforming. Love is definitely real. But a lot of us have grown up with such a distorted view of what love looked like. We don't even trust love. A lot of us don't even trust our own selves. So there's no way that you don't trust yourself, that you can trust the God that you can't see. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to challenge you. Get you in the ugly cry. And every time you feel the tears welling up in you, release it, let it go. Love yourself enough to know that, you know what? I think my heart has been stitched back together. It's not whole. And allow God to send people your way that you trust enough to be in your most vulnerable state. Because once you understand that your powers and being vulnerable, you won't have a problem going there. A lot of us fight so much to be strong. And it is in the vulnerability that you're going to find freedom, that you're going to find wholesomeness, that you're going to find your true voice. But until you give yourself permission to bear it all, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Now, a lot of you guys that followed me before, y'all know, if Ms.Unorthodoc going to do any fucking acting, I need my check afterwards. I'm not doing no acting for free. I need the world to know my name, or I need my names in the credit. I need something. I need some type of damn compensation if I got to act. If there are people in your life right now that when they're around you, you got to turn it to somebody else, you need to get rid of their asses. Or ask them for their email address so you can send them an invoice. Because you putting on a show. You putting on a show. And it's nothing worse with walking around as somebody damn else. Because you're so afraid of, I'm just too much. I heard it all my life. You just too loud. You're too dark. You're too chubby. It's always too something. I said, fuck that. And I started walking in my authentic self and my calling. And those who get it, I know I'm not for everybody. And I'm cool with that. I don't need to be for everybody. I'm good with the people whose spirit has called me to be a teacher to, or for the people who I'm set apart to impact their lives. I'm good with that. I don't need everybody to like me. I don't give a fuck about that. That doesn't even make sense to me. Because see, I'm honest with myself. I don't like everybody at the end of the day. Don't make them a bad person. They just not for me. So when is enough enough? Ladies, you better get in a healthy relationship with your tears. You better understand that your vulnerability is your power. And being strong is a fucking setup. It's a smoke screen. You better understand that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, let me tell you, they're doing so many heart surgeries, open heart surgeries, people needing new hearts because of the emotional pain they walking around with. Just pay attention. Pay attention to the medical industry, you guys. You got all these cancer centers around. You got all these fibroid centers around. You got all these heart centers around. You know why? Because we walk around with so much emotional pain that we got to get surgery. It fucks us up so bad that we got to get surgery on the physical part because the emotional part is damaging everything. And here's the sad part about that. The doctors are not going to see the spiritual, the mental, the emotional pain on an MRI. They can't diagnose the shit. They can't. And so until you're truthful with yourself, that there is some deeply rooted shit from your past that's causing your heart to be in a condition, or that's causing the cancer to come, or that's causing the fibroid to grow, until you are truthful and honest with yourself that the ailment that I have right now is due to my emotional spiritual condition. Until you're honest with yourself, you're going to dwindle away. You're going to dwindle away. So I challenge you, what condition is your heart in? Do you have a healthy relationship with vulnerability? When the last time you had an ugly good cry to where your stomach hurt, to where you was balled up like a fetus? When is the last time you had that? And if you got to think about it, it's been too long. Oh, it does all that, my queen. Raise your blood pressure, diabetes. All the ailments that we take medicine for has a direct link to the spiritual and emotional side of what's going on. I'm sorry. It's what I see on a regular basis. It always amazes me when I work with women and they're on different type of medications and they get these ugly cries. They really start healing their heart. And before you know it, they lose weight and they lose waist. They lose weight and they lose waist. And then they're winging themselves off medications because the symptoms of the emotional and mental and spiritual emotions are now being healed, so you don't have those same symptoms. I'm trying to tell y'all some good shit. Vulnerability is power. Vulnerability is power. But we fight like shit to stay away from it. When you gonna win for you? When are you gonna win for you? When are you gonna be enough? When you gonna be enough? So many of us are walking around in pain. Don't have nobody to tell. We're walking around crushed. And don't have a go-to person. Where are you putting that pain? Where's that pain going? I'm going to challenge you, ladies. And all those who is going to see this replay. If you ain't had a good cry within the last month, I suggest you start getting it in. Thank you, Queen. And I'm glad that you're in that position. Because now the real authentic you is going to show up. And that's what's going to impact the world. That's what's going to impact the world. You can't impact the world with false shit. The fake you, it doesn't have any truth to it. It cannot change anything. Just more of its kind going to show up. It can't change nothing. So understand that vulnerability is your power. Understand, ladies, that ugly cries, it was given to us for a reason. And so if your pain is so deeply rooted, I'm going to go talk to somebody. Get it out. Please get it out. Because if you do not, it's going to show up as lupus. It's going to show up as MS. It's going to show up as cancer. It's going to show up as a fibroid, endometriosis, PCOS. What is the other one? Fibromyalgia. It's going to show up as all that. It's going to show up as all that. If you can't be real with nobody around you, be real with yourself about the condition of your heart. God needs your heart, you guys, so that he can manifest greatness and miracles through you, because the world needs it. I know that's right. Yeah, it's got to go. Been in there living for rent free. Oh no, anybody live in this body got to pay. What's the compensation? No freeloaders here. So much love and light to you guys. Understand that your vulnerability is your power. Understand that your tears is cleansing, it's detoxing. Get in a good, healthy relationship with your vulnerability, you guys. Master loving you. Hope that you are out making God smile. I plan to tear his mouth out today because that's all I know how to do. Much love and light to you guys. I look forward to serving you on Friday for our fabulous Fear-Facing Friday, if God willing to give me that day. Understand that love is the only thing that heals on contact, and that it sticks with the person for eternal. So be a master love injector today. Here's the first thing. If you don't have it for yourself, you can't give it out to nobody else. Get it for you first. Practice loving on you. And loving on you sometimes means saying no. Loving on you sometimes means move on. letting people go, being selfish with yourself. That's what loving on you looks like. Master it. Love is the only thing that heals on contact, and it sticks with the person for eternal. So give that out. Wow. Yeah. When you're tired of being sick and 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 tired, you'll make a change. Until then, you're just going to complain about the situation you're in. That's all that's going to happen. So if you're not tired, just enjoy where you are. You too, sweetie. Much love and light, my kings and queens. I'll see you guys back on the book. I am your girl, Ms.Unorthodoc. You can follow me. I'll follow you back. Share this out because I know that somebody in this damn world needs it. Also, check out for all my services over at healmyvagina.com or MsUnorthodox.com. That's DOC, not DOX. And I'll see you guys real soon. I'm going to go enjoy my day. Peace, you guys. Love you guys. I'm out.